Yeah, you can find yourself chasing suspects of a serious crime, and it's your job to not just apprehend, but investigate, document, and then testify in court, which is, you've got a number of aspects that you have to account for. Go up, ma'am. No, the other way, go up. There you go. And that's where, if you like challenges, that's where the draw is for patrol. And doing it here in LA, like I said, you deal with so many different things.
There you go.
Again, from serious crimes to literally kittens in trees and people ask you for help, and of course you try, and that really does happen. That's happened to me. So, why law enforcement? What drew you to law enforcement in general?
You know, I was always into like fitness, and I like being fit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think being a cop suits me well. Like,
Yes.
having a badge
Yeah,
and stuff like
yeah.
that. Going out there.
So, but it's not just fitness. You're
Yeah,
motivated, right?
Yeah.
It's not just motivation, but focus on what you need to do to become better. And that's exactly the mentality you need for here, because it's not just, the fitness, it's the intellectual, it's the ability to communicate with people, because you have to have people skills. And it is I've been on for 22 years. It's still a challenge sometimes, but it's a great one, because patrol, like I said, you might have some boring days, but the job is always exciting. It's always great to meet people, just like right now, in all honesty, because that's one of the rewards of this job. You get to connect with people, learn stories, share your story. So, but now, are you from LA?
No, I'm from Palm Valley, Santa Ana, Garden.
Okay. Now, for me, again, I'm not just promoting LA because I work here, but it is great. You do see a lot of things. You can work from the Valley, which is 40 miles away. You can drive 2 hours and you're still in Los Angeles. Like here, we patrol the Watts area, but like I said, you can work the Valley, you can work downtown, you can work by the beach, you can work on an ATV, you can work on a dirt bike in the Valley, you can work in a patrol car down here, you can work on a horse, doing mounted unit. We do dignitary protection, we do undercover work here, narcotics, vice. So there's a lot of doors open with this agency, and many of them other agencies have, but on the scale that LA has it, it's rare. It's mostly us, NYPD, Chicago PD, maybe Miami-Dade PD, the big agencies. But for me, I was born and raised here. For me, this was the only place I applied to. But I would say, if you're going to do it, for now, work on your education, at least get a part-time job, and that'll keep you motivated, it'll keep you working. And when you go in for your interview and they ask you, what have you been doing since high school? Well, I've been going to school, I've been studying this, I've learned this much, I've worked a part-time job here. If you promote within the part-time job, then great. You talk about your accomplishments, and that's what people want to see, that you're motivated. You come in, you're dressed sharply, you speak, coherently, and you know how to articulate, and it'll be in the bag. And then you come on, and I'm telling you, 22 years, I'm still in this uniform, and I still fit my original belt. But like with you, I've worked out since I was 13, pretty consistently throughout. You have little episodes where you don't really stay as disciplined, but yeah, it's something you need. It's only one aspect of it, but it's awesome. And you'll get trained to shoot guns, to drive cars fast, how to be a tactician, how to write reports, and how to handle situations. Because some of it is, you don't do it every day, especially outside of law enforcement. You don't really like handling a chaotic scene. You might find yourself in one, but you're not there to take control. You're not there to investigate, and that's where the challenge lies. So, I think you would enjoy it if you have a desire for it, and just speaking about those few things that the dedication to physical fitness, the interest in the law enforcement, and the fact that even how you present yourself is a big deal. We call it command presence. Just like, in other words, it's like walking into a room and being noticed right away. There's something about you, and that's what you need to bring to this job, because you can go from saying good morning to someone to all of a sudden you're full sprint after some suspect of something that happened, and I've been there too. I'll be inside a restaurant, and like one time, in a restaurant just trying to eat breakfast, the guy comes in, all of a sudden he has a mental episode, and there I am with my partner trying to take control of it. But it's, again, great job. That's why they make movies out of it, and novels and so on, and shows. And you really do live the movies, the shows, and the novels. And that's why for me, I still enjoy it. It's still a great job. And if you have any interest, I would say go for it. Definitely go for it. Right now, you can do reserves at 18. So start getting a taste of what we do and get to know people. Especially again, once you turn in that application. It's about looking as good as you can. But do you have any more questions for me?
No, that's it. I just want to get to know what it's like. I'm gonna go to 2 years of community college and study in criminal justice, get some knowledge.
You don't necessarily have to study criminal justice. If you have other interests, you can focus on those as well. For me, it was automotive, so I focused on that between the time I was 18 and 21. I knew I wanted to do this. This was what I wanted to do. So I had 3 years, and I learned automotive and did my general classes. And so that would help you out, but you get so much training in the academy and after the academy that you do get college credit for it as well. So you don't have to focus on it, but it would help you, especially. If you decide, you can also take the bar, become an attorney while you're an officer, and that opens up a lot of doors. But now, what is your perception of what we do throughout the day? Like, what do you think? Like, we clock in. What do you think we do next? I'm just curious because I have my own concept of what I had before, but.
So, what I think is you guys have to do a lot of paperwork. It's not always just going out there catching criminals, driving around with your car. I'm sure you have to know how to do a lot of paperwork. And it's mostly I heard from other cops that it's all about English and paperwork.
Yes, articulation.
Yeah.
So, and that's one of the big things because whenever you watch, let's say, these legal shows, LA Law, and CIS, whatever it is, you have an investigation, but big part of that investigation is framing the information that you have in a legal way, in a way where you can present it to the court and testify to it as well. Because you're using the English language, but it's in such a different way that it changes the way you think. And attorneys know this very well. That's why we can communicate, pretty easily. And there's a lot of technicalities. Like, I'll give you an example. Officers had a use of force last night. They got a guy. The allegations, we'll call them allegations, are suspicious activity connected with narcotics. They detain them. They find a gun in the car and narcotics, so they now have to document all this. They were supposed to end at 7 this morning. They're still doing paperwork. So the paperwork is a big part of it, but that's why. There's so much documentation, so much chain of custody, so much that has to be done correctly, done thoroughly. Because once you present that to the courts, that's what they're going to go based on. And you want to do it efficiently and properly because in the end, if something was done wrong, you want the court to make a proper determination and if needed, give consequences for someone's actions. And that's a lot of what we do. But sometimes, like I said, we'll have boring days. Like on this Sunday, occasionally, especially when it's cold. We'll leave here, we'll go have breakfast, and it's quiet, we drive around, do big circles, and maybe handle a radio call or two, and that's it. Other days, right off the bat, domestic violence, robbery, carjacking, shootings. We get quite a few shootings here, and it'll be nonstop past your hours that you end. Like for us, we end at 6:30, you'll easily be here 10, 11, 12 o'clock, just like these guys. It's 1:20, they're still here. During the 2020 demonstrations, we were doing 21-hour days. The first day of the